We are covering the basis of inherited property, a topic the exam guarantees you will see. The general rule is that an heir's basis in inherited property is its fair market value on the decedent's date of death. This is often called a stepped-up basis because assets usually appreciate. This rule is powerful because it eliminates the income tax on all the appreciation that occurred during the decedent's life. For example, if a father bought stock for $1,000 and it was worth $100,000 when he died, his son inherits it with a basis of $100,000. If the son sells it the next day for that price, his taxable gain is zero. The one key takeaway is that the heir's holding period for inherited property is always considered long-term, regardless of how long the heir or the decedent actually held it. Now, for the first exam trap, the alternate valuation date. The executor can elect to value the property 6 months after the date of death instead. However, the exam will test you on the 2 strict conditions for making this election. It must decrease the value of the gross estate, and it must decrease the amount of estate tax due. If an estate is not large enough to owe estate tax, it cannot make this election. Another trick involves an asset sold between the date of death and the 6-month alternate date. If the executor elects alternate valuation, the basis of that specific asset is its fair market value on the date it was sold, not the 6-month date. The second major trap is community property. In community property states, when one spouse dies, both halves of the community property get a basis adjustment to the fair market value. The decedent's half gets stepped up and, crucially, the surviving spouse's half also gets a step up. This is a huge benefit and a favorite exam question. For instance, a couple in Arizona owns a rental property with a basis of $200,000, worth $1 million at the first spouse's death. The surviving spouse's new basis in the entire property becomes $1 million, not just her original $100,000 plus the inherited half at $500,000. Finally, the most critical exception is income in respect of a decedent, or IRD. IRD items do not get a stepped-up basis. This is income the decedent had a right to receive but had not yet received before death, such as a final paycheck, installment sale payments, or distributions from a traditional IRA. The beneficiary who collects this income will pay income tax on it, just as the decedent would have. The exam will give you a scenario with multiple inherited assets, including a traditional IRA, and ask for the total basis. You must know not to step up the basis of that IRA. A great way to remember the general rule is this phrase: death is the great basis eraser. It wipes the slate clean, resetting the basis to the fair market value and making the holding period long-term. Remember this, but be careful not to apply it to IRD items.